Welcome to the channel, to my latest battle report where the might of the Death Guard, led by Mortarian, takes on the Imperial Knights. So today on the channel we're playing a Tempest of War game with 5 objectives down on the table. And of course you get 5 points if you control one of them, 10 points if you control 2 of them, and 15 points if you control more than your opponent. That's the way you score your primaries. And we'll be drawing the secondaries from the Tempest of War deck. We're playing classic Dawn of War deployment where the Death Guard, led by the Demon Primarch Mortarian, is trying to rip down this Imperial bunker complex up here. And moving out of the canyon walls is the might of the Imperial households. The battle mat is from urbanmats.com. All the scenery, there's playlists on this. I made this stuff up, and that stuff is from Games Workshop. If you'd like to support me, support the channel, then you can become a channel member. At tier 3 channel members, it unlocks all the extra videos and my Discord and things for $5.99 a month, the price of a goldfish. So don't buy goldfish, instead buy your tier 3 Winter's SEO channel membership thing. What's that?
Don't buy a goldfish a month.
Do you have any goldfish?
No, I don't.
No, are you a channel member?
I am, yes.
Exactly, so you're doing it the right way.
Subscribe,
Welcome back to the channel. Rapid, say hi Rapid.
Hi Rapid.
So you're a 40k returner, came back in 8th edition.
I did, yes.
How many armies do you have?
Oh, about 7.
Brilliant, you're doing it the right way. What is your favourite one out of all of the 7?
At the moment, Tyranids.
Tyranids, why?
Yeah. Just can play them in different styles.
But you brought Knights today.
Yeah, because I haven't run them in a while and I feel like they should come out to play.
There's a lot of synergy, a lot of complication, a lot of overlapping things. Have you turned your brain on this morning? And you also said, can I bring 2,760
points?
Yes, so it's 2,760. So that's why I've got Mortarian in my list.
Yeah.
Are we happy about that?
No.
And this is 2,760 points of my Death Guard warband, the end of all things, led by Demon Primarch Mortarian. It's a single battalion, so I've got 12 CP to play with. I've already stuck one down here on my Demon Prince, but of course, the HQ for this is Mortarian, and he's got a chunk of warlord traits. Now I won't name them all, but basically he turns off rerolls within 9 inches of himself, and he turns off auras within 3 inches of himself. He's got a 4-up invulnerable save, -1 to all damage, and a 5-up feel of no pain. In fact, the entire Death Guard army has -1 to all damage that comes in. They've also got the Contagions ability, so the closer you get to them, your toughness can reduce by 1. They have Inexorable, so all the bolt gun weaponry counts as stationary. They've got bolter discipline all the time. They always count as stationary with bolter weaponry. And the Terminators have OBSEC. So let's talk through what we've got here. Well, Mortarian, absolute beatstick. But down here, my Demon Prince, Fluffy. That's not his name, but that's what the other ones called him, which makes him very angry. And you want an angry Demon Prince. He's got the Warp Insect Hive, so he's re-rolling all hits and all wounds with his Hellforged sword there. And he's got Rotten Constitution, which gets his toughness up to 7, and he also ignores AP -1 and AP -2. Rocking around with him will be 2 units of 7 Terminators. There is a Flail of Corruption and a Blight Launcher in each of those squads. And then 5 units of 7 Plague Marines. What you see is what you get in each of them. There's Blight Launchers in all the squads. All the Sergeant equivalents have the champions. They all have Power Fists. There's Plasma in all the squads as well. But some are loaded up a bit more close combat-y and some are loaded up a bit more shooty. In the backfield, we have 2 Hellbrutes. One's got Twin Las, one's got the Multi-Melter. The one with the Twin Las has got a Hellbrute Fist. The one with the Multi-Melter has got the Tendrils of Doom. In the backfield, 2 Blade Burst Crawlers with Entropy Cannons, which is the correct life choice. And because this army is very slow, apart from Mortarian or the deep strike potential of the Blightlord Terminators, I've brought along 3 drones, and I didn't want to have the long range shooty drones. And I'm not a fan of the flesh mowers because I want all the rest of the army to go punching in. The flesh mowers are really good if you've got some units that are supposed to stay at the back and hold some stuff and you want to throw them for. I want to throw these guys forward instead with their spurty McSpirt faces of doom. They've got 2 plague I forget what they're called, but basically they're strength 6, AP -1, 1 damage, spurty weapons, and they've got 2 of them each. So they do chuck out a lot of shots, and they are very annoying. Talking about very annoying, 16 Poxwalkers because of points. Poxwalkers have been known to take down Primarchs before. Angron met them once, and Angron fought the Poxwalkers, and the Poxwalkers won. In my head was that song, like, I fought the law and the law won. I fought the Pox... Anyway, so Death Guard, smelly, contagious, tough as all hell, loads of objectives secured, and a Demon Primarch that can potentially one-shot Imperial Knights. Talking about the Knights, let's go check them out. 1 minute, Psychic Powers. Fluffy's got Miasma of Pestilence, as has Mortarian, because if one of them dies, I still want more Miasma of Pestilence, which is a -1 to hit. And Mortarian also has Curse of the Leper and Putrescent Vitality. He can cast 2, deny 3. Not that there's going to be any denying going on here, but he can cast 2. Fluffy can cast 1. Now let's go and have a look at the Knights. And here is 2,760 points of a custom Knight household. What we doing with them rapid?
Right, well, the custom household ability basically gives them a transhuman in combat.
Whoa. So the Achilles heel of Imperial Knights is in close combat, actually, because they have a 5-up invulnerable save to all shooting, and shooting at them from range. They can tank it a little bit at range, particularly with rotate iron shields.
Yeah.
And in close combat, they tend to fall. But not being wounded on a 1, 2, 3, 4. However, isn't it kind of hard to wound Knights on a 1, 2, 3, 4 because they are so tough? Well, Mortarian can wound them on a 2. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. All right, so you've got 7 CP down here, or 8 CP down here. You already spent a bunch. Talk us through what we're doing here, sir.
Right, okay. So Warlord is the errant in the middle there. I have spent 2 CP on him to give him Sanctuary. So that is a 4-up invuln in combat.
Yes.
And then the Knight Seneschal, which means he's got +1 to attack, and he's always honoured. So this boy is going to be hitting on 2s
all the time. With an extra attack.
Yes.
Nice.
And he's got Thunderstrike Gauntlet, and he's got the big melter.
Nice.
Right, okay, so the next is the Preceptor at the back. He's got the Last Impulsor and the Melter Gun, and the Fist as well. And his 3, effectively, Chaplain abilities are Knights of Fate, so that gives a 6-up Feel No Pain to an Armiger, or a Virtue of Courage, which means that 6 is exploding shooty.
Yes.
Or Wisdom of Nobility, which means when I put a Bondsman ability on one of the Armigers, depending on range, I can then bounce it to another one as well, so I get 2 of them with it at the same time.
Okay, so he's like a chaplain.
Yeah.
These abilities, do they have a range to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Each has a range, yeah.
And then he puts out buffs to the little armigers. But that's what Knights do now. All of these things have a buff that they can put down to the little armigers.
Yeah, apart from the Castellan.
Yeah.
Castellan can't.
Probably worth mentioning that the little ones do have objective secured.
Yes.
The big ones don't have objective secured, but they do count as 10
They
models?
count as 10, yeah. So the little ones count as 5.
Yeah.
The big ones count as 10.
Okay.
So next one then is the Paladin on the right hand side.
Yes.
He's got the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon and the big Chainsword.
Okay.
He's got the Helm Dominatus, which means that when he puts a Bondsman ability on one of the Armigers, instead of it just running until the end of the battle turn, it's to the end of the game.
Okay.
So I can keep putting it on successive ones and it sticks.
And his ability that he puts on is reroll hit rolls of 1, shooting in close combat.
Just shooty.
Just shooty.
Because he's a shooty guy, so it's reroll 1s to shoot, to hit and wound.
Okay, so you can put it on one of these guys, and then it stays there for the whole game, and then the next guy it stays there for the whole game.
So my plan would be to put it on the Helverins, so they sit back a bit further, and then I can split them out. So they've got that ability on them, they hit on 2s.
I like it. Okay.
And then the last one is the Castellan.
The big Dominus.
All the big guns.
28 wounds.
Yes. And he has all the guns.
He has all the guns.
But I've given him the Exalted Court, which is Gatekeeper.
Right.
So basically, while he's in my deployment zone, he gets transhuman to shoot in.
Wow.
So 1 to 3.
I don't think there's anything in my... Oh no, there's a las cannon. I've got a las cannon in my, which is above strength 8. So it'll work for that.
35 points, worth it. Woohoo!
Right, I run Imperial Knights sometimes. And all of my Knights get extra wounds. Do your guys get extra wounds? How does that work?
No, these guys are the Questor Imperialis.
Oh right, Questor Mechanicus get extra wounds.
Yeah, and they get to heal.
Yes.
These guys get buffs to their advances, and I think they ignore terrain.
Buffs to their advances, ignore terrain. Anything else? Isn't there something about dreadnoughts?
The armor goes when they're under the bondsman abilities, it's -1 to their damage.
Right. Okay. So they do get the dreadnought -1 when they're okay.
Bondsman, yeah.
Right. Anything else?
Have
we covered everything?
I think we've covered everything.
So there's loads of overlapping buffs and things.
Yeah.
Right. I am a little bit scared, despite the fact that I've got Mortarian. Let's go on to deployment. And we're deployed for this 2,750 point game of Tempest of War. I've put 1 unit of my Terminators in reserve to deep strike down onto the battlefield. Why wouldn't you? And the Castellan here is holding the central objective, the objective in the Knights deployment zone. Meanwhile, over on this side, the Paladin is standing here ready to buff the 2 Armigers. Looking across the table, Mortarian is stood tall and proud, ready to be shot at. Again, we don't know who's going first yet. And around this flank, facing the Paladin and the Armigers, is simply a drone, a tank, a dreadnought, and some Plague Marines. Not a lot here, because there's a long way to go before we actually contest that objective there. This objective, however, is in the middle of the battle grid, which is why Mortarian's here, Fluffy's here, 7 Terminators, 7 Plague Marines, a drone. I've got a lot of stuff in the middle, ready to split fire all over the place. And then the rest of the Knights army is all the way on this flank. Triple Warglaves, the Preceptor, the Errant pushing down this way. Because there is 1, 2, 3 objectives here. So I've got even more Plague Marines. 2 units of 7 Plague Marines and the Poxwalkers. One of these surely is enough to camp on that objective there, but there's a lot of redundancy there. And then the Hellbrute with the las cannon is hanging out right on the flank, along with the drone, because it looks like there will definitely be some Knights pushing forward round them. This is scary. Knights are scary, lots of overlapping buffs and stuff, but I have a lot of objectives secured down on the battle grid, and we are Death Guard. We are disgusting and resilient. Now we're going to roll off. Tia goes first after you. Rapid. Good luck. That's a 1. That is not what you wanted to see.
Nope.
That is a 6. It's definitely the Death Guard's turn 1. In turn 1, Mortarian bellows out his commands. Take battlefield supremacy. Any 3 objectives. No retreat, no surrender. Don't move off any objectives that you're currently on. And then I can't fail morale in the Imperial Knights' turn. Storm a hostile objective. The only objective that the hostiles are on right now is the one in their deployment zone, so this one can't be done in turn 1. The other 2, though, look promising. The end of all things mean to take this installation, so they seize the initiative and surge forward towards the Loyalist lines. And as you can see, I'm clearly on these 3 objectives down here, giving me battlefield supremacy. I just don't want to fail any morale when the shooting comes back in the Imperial Knights' turn. Double teaming on this objective here, double teaming on this objective here. Those units had to advance. These units had to advance, but I couldn't double team on the central objective. And you'll notice that the las cannon Hellbrute here has got straight shots on the nasty Castellan, which is staring down the throat of Mortarian, who also advanced forward, because I've also got dual shots in with the Plague Burst crawlers as well. The idea is to try and weaken the biggest gun in the Imperial Knights army in turn 1. I could have spread my fire along and maybe taken out an Armiger, but let's try and hurt this thing, because does it have any rules that allow it to hit a full ballistic skill or regain wounds or anything like that? Once he's nerfed, right? Brilliant, thank you. So yeah, advancing forward all the way across the line. I did get Miasma of Pestilence off on Mortarian, so he's going to be naturally -1 to hit, and Putrescent Vitality, Psychic Power on the Blightlord Terminators, so they're up to Toughness 6, which is like 10th edition stats. And then round here we advance forward as well with this. So we'll start here, because it is an assault weapon, the Plague Spitters, and we're going to spit all over that thing there. -1 damage, so you don't need to rotate Iron Shields against this. And this is the number of shots. At Strike 6, it'll wound on 5s, but I do get to re-roll the 1, and that is 2 wounds. And that is one failed save.
Yep.
Then as we move down the line, all the infantry either advanced or isn't in line of sight or range of anything. So the last thing left to fire will be the big guns. Starting over here with twin las cannons, threading the needle into the Castellan. No, the Dominus. Here's a Castellan. It's a Knight Dominus Castellan. 3s to hit him. And one of them hits. And 4s to wound because you have transhuman in your deployment zone.
Yep.
Doesn't wound.
Ooh.
Next up, tank number 1, firing at the big knight, spending a CP on disgusting force. So the mortar goes from damage 2 to damage 3. But how many shots does it have? It has 4 shots. And explosive shells rain down on 3s. All of them hit and they will wound on 4s, re-rolling 1s. And that is 3 wounds. So 3 4-up saves. And you fail 2 of them. That is 6 damage.
Okay.
Then the entropy cannons come in hot. That one's cocked. And you have rotated iron shields. One of them hits. Strength 8 versus toughness 8. Wounds. So that is a 4-up invulnerable save, sir. Which you make.
With a knife.
Then I put the stubbers in. They bounced. The big knight is down to 22 wounds left before the second tank fires in. Here's the mortar shot for 2 shots. Both of them hit. One of them wounds. No, it doesn't wound because you have transhuman in your deployment zone.
Yep.
Entropy cannons. Both of them hit. Forced to wound. 1 wound. You still have rotate iron shields. And you make that as well. And that's it for turn 1. For the end of all things, I've got 5 points for battlefield supremacy and are spreading out and trying to take as many objectives as possible. But I haven't reduced the volume of attacks that are going to come back at me in the shooting phase at all. So let's find out how the Knights respond in Imperial Knights, turn 1. Here are the orders for the Knights, and they mean to kill, kill, kill. Assassinate any character, so Mortarian might get it. Kill 3 things with guns in the shooting phase, and kill 3 things in the punchy punch phase with blood and guts. The knights of this unnamed household surge forward, various bondsman abilities and orders shouted out across the line. For example, on this flank, the paladin has told this Helverin to reroll hit rolls of 1, reroll wound rolls of 1 for the rest of the game because of the warlord trait. Down here, there's a chaplain ability on him, and this guy basically told this one to advance and charge, which also bounced to this one who can now advance and charge as well. And with full tilt, you got him all the way up the battle grid, and over here you rolled really high. And he also managed to get off his aura of 6-up, feel no pain. Those knightly teachings don't affect the preceptor, but only affects one of the armigers within 6 inches of him. But an aggressive push forward from the knights in turn 1. Now let's go on to the shooting phase. 1 minute, just forgot to move the Castellan, going to move him forward a little bit so his 4 melters get in range of Mortarian. And now we're starting the shooting phase with the Castellan, firing everything at Demon Primarch Mortarian. Starting with the metal guns, 4s to hit though because of miasma of pestilence, and that didn't really help me. You hit with all 3, well 3 of 4. These are 4s to wound, he's a tough old cookie, and 1 wound comes through. I need a 4-up invulnerable save, which I fail, and this will be D6 damage for 3 damage. That becomes 2 damage, and Mortarian shrugs on 5s. He doesn't shrug either of them. Next up, shield breaker missiles are raining in to Mortarian. This is 4 D3 shots. See how many shots we get. 10 shots which hit on 4s. And a strength 7 wound on 5s. No wounds. Now the Volcano Lance for D3 shots. For 3 shots. This hits on 4s. And that's 2 hits. What's the strength of this big gun?
It is strength 16.
16. 16. 2s to wound. We have 2 wounds. How much damage is it?
D6 plus 8, minus 5.
You're making it up. D6 plus 8. That's like 10th edition stats. That's crazy. 4 plus invulnerable saves. I fail 1. Let's re-roll command point 1 of them. I make 1. So 1 gets through for D6 plus 8 damage. Oh, mama. That becomes 12 damage, which Mortarian needs to shrug on 5s. I shrug 1 of them. So he's taken 13 wounds so far. Now we're going with the plasma not overcooking. Here's the number of shots. That is 6 shots.
There you go.
Which hit on 4s. And that is 4 hits. And not overcooked is wounding on 4s?
Yes, strength 8.
Yes. 1 wound.
-4.
1 4+ invulnerable save, which I make. And I think you've got the shield breaker left, which does ignore invulnerable saves.
Just on the 4.
And it misses. Rapid is not command pointing, re-rolling that one. Mortarian's on 5 wounds remaining. And now we're coming across to this flank where this Helverin is throwing all the shots down into this fetid bloat drone for 4d3 shots with its autocannons. This is the Helverin that's been buffed by the... It's re-rolling hit rolls of 1, re-rolling wound rolls of 1, but it hits on 3s, and there's 3 2s. Always when you want those re-rolls, huh? Oh. Strength 7, toughness 7 is 1 wound. 5 up and bun. Oh yeah, you do. Oh, 1 wound.
Never mind.
5 up and bun. I make it. Then we fired the stubber. It bounced. So Helverin number 2 is rinsing and repeating. This is the number of shots. For 9 shots hitting on 3s. No re-rolls this time, but that is 7 hits. Wounding on 4s. And that is 3 wounds. 3 invuns coming up. No invuns. How much damage are these guns?
3.
Whoa. So instead of 9 damage, each is reduced by 1. 6 damage. It's on 3 wounds remaining. We did the stubbers into the drone. They bounced again. Now we're on to the paladin. The paladin has got 1 melter, 1 stubber, and the missiles are going to come down into the drone. But the rapid fire battle cannon is targeting Mortarian through the trees. Storm Spear rocket pod into the drone, 3 shots.
On 3s.
And 2 of them hit. These are strength 8, so they're wound on 3s. And 2 2s there, no wounds whatsoever. Command point? I can see you thinking.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay. That's a 2. The 2 becomes a 2. Zinch said no. Maybe the melter can hit though.
The 1
on
shot
a 3.
of the melter. Come on.
Yes, it can. 3's to wound. It can't wound though. Then we did the stubber and you actually managed to plink a wound off the drone. It's down to 2 remaining. Now the rapid fire battle cannon's going chugga 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 through the trees. 2d6 shots. For 6 shots. Forced to hit. Hits 4 times. Forced to wound. Wounds 3 times. 4+ invulnerable saves. I only fail 1. How much damage is it?
3 damage.
3 damage becomes 2 damage. Can he shrug any? He couldn't last turn. This turn he can shrug 1 of them. He's on 4 wounds remaining. So 4 out of 9 of the engines have fired so far. Now we're going to go on to the Warlord. The Knight Errant is firing its thermal cannon into Mortarian. Its melter gun is out of range. But this has got quite a number of shots. How many shots is it, the big metal thing?
2d3.
2d3. Okay, good luck.
Come on.
And that is 4 shots. But can you hit on 4s? Can you penetrate the cloud of flies? Twice you can. Twice you can. Strength 9?
9, yeah.
Wounding on 3s. No wounds. 2 2s again. Rapid.
Yeah.
That means Mortarian's going to live.
No.
He's in the target-rich environment next turn.
Yeah, no.
You can Overwatch, though. You can Overwatch. Maybe you'll kill him in the Overwatch phase. Maybe.
Thanks for making me feel a little bit better.
This little thing ran forward. So its thermal spear's heavy. You can't fire it.
Yeah.
But you have got a normal melter in this one.
Yeah.
What do you want to shoot at? A Terminator or a drone or what?
Let's go into the drone.
Go into the drone.
Yeah.
Forced to hit the drone. It hits the drone. For 3's to wound the drone. It doesn't wound the drone. At this point, I'd really like to thank Billy Bob, who's a member of the channel, who bought Rapid his new dice, which he's using for the first time on the channel today. Thank you, Billy Bob. They're great dice. Rapid, I take it at some point you have got Blood Angels, right?
Yeah, lots of them.
Okay, gold and red. Love the dice, by the way. Are these the Games Workshop ones?
Yeah,
because
the new Sanguinary Guard ones.
I have heard the Games Workshop dice are a bit pants. They look good. What I mean is they look good. But a number of people have taken them here to the various ones for Horus Heresy and things like that, and they always seem to roll low.
Yeah, I had the old ones.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
So all the way down on the left flank, we have finally the Knight Preceptor, and it's firing its guns down into the Plague Marines there, trying to clear them off the objective, doing the high intensity shot on its Las Impulsor.
So D6 shots.
Okay. for 4 shots. And this will hit on 3s.
Yeah.
And it hits twice. Wounding on 2s. I won't get a save. Oh, there's a 1. D6 damage?
It's 4 damage.
Is it? Flat 4 damage. One of them gets nuked. Then it has a multi-laser as well.
Yeah, so it's heavy 4.
Heavy 4, okay. It hits 3 times. Strength?
6.
Wounds on 3s. It wounds once. And I failed the save. Then the last thing left to fire is these 2 armigers here. One of the melters is hitting on 3s. One of them is hitting on 4s. Here's the one hitting on 3s, which misses. And here's the one hitting on 4s, which hits and wounds on a 3. And it wounds. I'm surprised every time you actually manage to hit and wound. 5 up and vulnerable save. And it gets through for D6 damage. 3, which becomes 4. 4, which becomes 3. The drone is on 6 wounds remaining. And that is the end of the night shooting phase. They've injured a drone on this flank. They've injured Mortarian in the middle. He's all the way down to 4 wounds remaining. But you have a household bondsman, your oath thing. Explain the oath thing. Something about charging if you have to. What's that thing? How does that work?
If I can charge, I have to charge. Otherwise, I lose honour.
And what happens if you lose? Well, at the moment you're honoured. So you've got +1 to hit in close combat.
Yes.
And if you lose the honour, is it -1 to hit in close combat? Or you just
lose that?
You just lose that. So
yeah.
You'll be hitting on 2s if you make these charges. So the Castellan needs an 11-inch charge. Don't make this. Okay, that's a 7. You're good. Talking about 7-inch charges, there's a 7-inch charge round here from the Paladin into the drone on 2 wounds remaining. And that's a 6.
I do get a +1 with the knightly.
With the knightly what?
The Quaestor Imperialis.
Ah, so you make the charge. To be fair, it's a good job you do. Otherwise, the Helverin would have had to try and make the charge, and you don't want these Helverins locked up in close combat at all. Where else are we going? This guy advanced, and he can charge with the thing that you put on him, drone or Terminators. Final decision.
I'm going to go for the drone.
Go for the drone. With your +1 to charge, this is only a 5-inch charge. And you make the charge. Look at that, a 5. Perfect. Crump, the Warglaive makes it in here, and you want to go for the drone round here as well. Or are you thinking about the Marines?
I'm thinking about them now, actually, because if I kill one of them, I could take that point off you as well.
You're OBSEC 5,
yeah.
And I've got 5. So if you kill one, that will be contested. And I'll only get 5 points on the primary in turn 2. So you're going to charge the Plague Marines now?
Yeah, let's do it.
I like it. That makes more tactical sense to me. And with a 5-inch charge, that's successful with the +1. Right, we're starting close combat round here. Armiger Warglaive versus Plague Marines. You're staying a little bit back after the charge there, so you're still in the aura range of the Preceptor. That gives the... I don't drop dice and can. That gives the Warglaive a 6-up feel no pain. Now let's fight. Doing the strike attack, hitting on 2s, because it's your household thingy bob.
No ones, please, no ones.
No ones. There is 1-1. That is 3 hits. What's the strength of this strike thing?
This will be strength 10.
Okay, wounding on 2s. 3 wounds. What's the AP?
-4.
-4? 3 damage, which becomes 2. You wipe out 3 of them. So there's only 3 Plague Marines left here. I'm not paying to interrupt with any of the drones, because they can fight, but not very well. So let's do this Warglaive, smacking the Fetid Bloat drone right on the central objective. Hitting on 2s. Where are we rolling? We're rolling there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And there's another one.
I'm really good at ones.
Yeah. Wounding on 3s. That is only 1 wound that comes through.
-4.
And I don't make my invulnerable save. That drone is on 7 wounds remaining. And now we have one last fight. The big, the mad, the bad Paladin attacking the last drone on 2 wounds remaining. Doing the strike attack again, so you'll wound on 2s, and you're also hitting on 2s. Good luck. 4 attacks. You didn't roll a 1.
Woohoo!
Yay. 2s to wound. You rolled 2 1s. 2, 5+ invulnerable saves coming up. No, neither of them. That is 12 damage, which is reduced to 10 damage. The drone definitely buys the farm and doesn't blow up. No deadly demise. That's a 10th edition thing. I like it. After the Paladin killed one of the drones, over here, this drone probed the Warglaive and put 1 wound on him. And then we're going to come over here to the Plague Marines to pile in and fight the second Warglaive. 2 guys with plaid knives hit on 3s and wound on 5s, nothing. And then there is the champion with his fist, which will hit on 4s and wound on a 3, nothing at all. And that is the end of Imperial Knights turn 1. They don't actually score any objectives yet because they didn't manage to assassinate Mortarian yet. He's on 4 wounds remaining. And at the end of that turn, I will spend 2 CP on Insane Bravery. So this unit, engaged with the Warglaive, doesn't run away because I've got no retreat, no surrender in my hand. And that means I get 10 CP at the end of turn 1. Now, I would have got 15 CP in the primary phase, in the command phase of turn 2, because I was on 3 objectives. But those aggressive charges from the Warglaives right at the gut means I'm only on my home objective down here. So at the start of turn 2, it'll be 15 points to the Death Guard, 0 points to the Imperial Knights, as we go on to the end of all things, turn 2. Huh?
You said CP then for having the objectives?
Instead of VP.
Yeah.
Okay. CP, not VP. No, VP, not brain. Turn 2. So here are Mortarian's orders, and they're good. Storm a hostile objective, an objective that the enemy control. I kept that in my hand because I knew that they'd be all over. I should be able to do that. No prisoners. Kill 30 wounds worth of stuff. That's like 1 night. I can do that. And secure no man's land. Take any 2 objectives in no man's land. Well, I need to do that for that one. So these are good. Okay, here we are after the movement phase, not dropping any Terminators in yet, because I don't know where to put them. And it's Operation Kill the Castellan Part 2. So Mortarian is going to go charging in there, but the Castellan is on 22 wounds, so he needs a bit of softening up first. So I have moved forward with the Hellbrute, which is now in range, and kept both of the tanks so they can see him as well. So there'll be a lot of guns going into the Castellan robot. This unit down here tried to advance, because if I got a cheeky advance, I would get on that objective there, and then when I'm on this objective here, that would be secure no man's land and also storm hostile objective. But I didn't get on that one. I'm still going to storm a hostile objective over here, however. The Warglaive is engaged with the drones, and if the Terminators charge, I'm on that objective, and they are OBSEC, that's cool. So I still need secure no man's land, any 2 objectives in no man's land. So the second one, the third one, is over here, which your Helverin, your Warglaive controls. So I stepped back with this squad here. They're still in range of the objective. So if I kill him in shooting, because there's a Hellbrute that's about to charge him, this unit that's about to charge him, and this unit are all in 24-inch range to throw some shots into him. He does have a 6-up feel no pain currently because of the Preceptor nearby, but there's a lot of shots going into him, and if that fails to kill him, charge. So I'm hoping 1 dead Warglaive, 1 dead Warglaive, 1 dead Castellan, 3 engine kills this term, and also if I get that, that'll be no prisoners as well. So let's start off the psychic phase with Mortarian. He needs to do Miasma. He does Miasma of Pestilence. And the next thing he's going to do is a cheeky smite, because I need every single wound off of that I can on a 5. This is a cheeky smite. And it does 1 wound to the Castellan. Okay. That's a nice start. And over here, Fluffy's going to do a cheeky smite as well onto that Warglaive in close combat. And that is a super smite. Thank you, Fluffy. Now watch him roll a 1. He rolls a 1. Right, let's shoot. Mortarian pulls out the lantern, fires at the Castellan and point blank range, and he hits. And he wounds. He needs a 5-up invulnerable save, which he failed, and I think that's a flat 3 damage. Next up, this unit back here that advanced, fired some light launchers in, didn't do anything. Now we're on to the Hellbrute, which is firing in with his multi-melter, so you are rotating. And the multi-melter misses. So we're on to the Tonks. Tonk number 1, spending CP on Disgusting Force again to get me up to damage 3. Let's fire this mortar up and over for 4 shots, which will hit on 3s and hit 3 times and wound on 4s, re-rolling 1s and wound 3 times for 3 invulnerable saves of 4 up. And you make 1 of them, but that is 6 damage. Then we did the Stubber, which bounced. Now the Entropy Cannons, both of them hit. Rerolling the 1. One of them wounds, 4+ invulnerable save, sir. Which you make. Okay. Tonk number 2. Let's do stubbers. We hit. We wound once this time. That's a 2-up save. The heavy slugger did a wound. Amazing. Entropy cannons. Both of them hit. Force to wound. Rerolling 1s. It's a plague weapon. One of them wounds. Another 4-up invulnerable save, sir.
Come on.
And you make that.
Yes.
Mortar. 3 shots. Hits once. And wounds once. 4-up save. And you make that as well. Okay, so a Dreadnought, a Hellbrute, the 2 tanks, Mortarian fired everything into it. How many wounds is he on left?
He's on 11 now.
On 11. Beautifully softened up for the charge for Mortarian. That is all the shooting down this flank. In the middle, the Terminators want to charge that Warglaive there, but they do have a chunk of weapons, so we might as well start firing past at this knight first. Let's start off with the Blight Launcher, which hits once and doesn't wound. Then let's do all the Storm Bolters. Wounding on 6s, nothing happened there. Storm Bolters, Combi Bolters. Right, round here. Killing Warglaive number 2 is the plan. So, starting off with the Hellbrute. Las cannons to the face. Both of them hit. One of them wounds. 5-up invulnerable save, sir. Which you fail. This will do D6 damage. Come on, boy.
I'm going to see you. Come on, boy.
No, D6 damage. For 6 damage. You've
Okay.
got 6 feel no pains coming up. 5 feel no pains because of the bondsman ability. And you shrug one of them. So he only takes 4 wounds. Okay, we're on to this unit. Firing in at him. There is a Blight Launcher in that squad. And that one's really cocked. Which hits twice. You are in contagion range right now. Mm-hmm. So this will wound on 4s and reroll 1s for 2 wounds. 2 5-up saves. And you make them both. Oh, wow. We have a Plasma and a Plasma in that squad. No point in overcooking because I'm wounding on 3s anyway and you reduce all damage by 1. But we are in rapid fire range. And we hit 3 times. We're going to wound on 3s. And we wound 3 times. This is 3 more 5+ invulnerable saves. And this time you fail them all. So 3 6-up feel no pains coming up. And that is another 2 damage. And then 4 bolt guns from that squad rain in, wounding on 5s for 1 more wound. And you make a save. Okay, on to unit number 2, rinsing and repeating. The difference is these 2 units are within range of Fluffy, so they're re-rolling hit rolls of 1. Here's the Blight Launcher, which hits both of the times, and re-roll that one. Wounds both of the times. You make a save, fail a save, that's 1 damage. 2 damage becomes 1 damage. You've got a shrug,
Nope.
Which you don't shrug.
Nope.
No Plasma in that squad, so just bolters, re-rolling the 1. Thank you, Fluffy. Wounding on 5s. 2 wounds, 2 3s, and then a feel no pain. And you don't feel the pain, that's good. So the engine is on 5 wounds remaining. No wounds from squad number 2, so we're on to squad number 3. Here's the Blight Launcher. It hits both of the times, wounds both of the times. And you make a save, fail a save, 6-up shrug. It's down to 4 wounds remaining. The 2 Plasma in this squad are not in rapid fire, obviously. And re-roll the 1 and wound on 3s. 5s to save, negative, and then 6 to shrug. The Warglaive is on 2 wounds remaining, and then the hallowed bolt guns come in. Or not hallowed in this case, we're bad guys. Cursed bolt guns come in and don't wound. Ooh. So all the big guns have fired, all the infantry has fired. All I've got left is a couple of drones. Starting with this drone, with his plague sprayers, trying to take the last 2 wounds off this Warglaive. Number of auto hits, 7. Nurgle's number, this will do it. On 4s, 4 wounds, 4 up saves. That's 3 wounds that come through, 3 6-up shrugs. It's only got 2 wounds remaining. And that is a dead Warglaive. Does it go kaboom? It does go kaboom, oh dear. So the Plague Marines take D3 mortal wounds. And then the Hellbrute takes D3 mortal wounds. And then this squad takes D3 mortal wounds. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. And your knight takes 3. And we have our first engine kill. And with the Warglaive falling, that is secure no man's land. This drone, however, locked in combat with the second Warglaive, can also spurt all over it with its assault weapons and spurts on it 7 times. Nurgle's number again, forced to wound, only 3 wounds. Oh no, reroll that one. It's a plague weapon, only 3 wounds.
So what's the minus?
-1.
Oh, pause.
And you make all the saves.
Ooh.
And that's the end of the shooting phase, our first engine kill. And of course the Castellan all the way down to very few wounds remaining, 11 wounds remaining. I haven't got any charges over here now. So I'm happy with that. I'm on that objective, that's good. I have got a charge here with the Terminators to try and free up that fetid bloat drone. And they're going to go 9 inches in. We'll definitely storm that hostile objective there as well. And then we're going on to Mortarian. Do you want to overwatch? Yes? Yes, you need to. Mortarian's on 4 wounds remaining. Can you do it? 4 melters to the face, point blank range, and one of them hits. Forced to wound. And it wounds. 4+ invulnerable save. Because right now it's D6 plus 2 damage.
Yeah.
Right, I'm command pointing that.
I don't blame it.
It doesn't help me. D6 plus 2 damage. For 8 damage. Are you going to kill my Warlord in Overwatch? I need to make 5 up, feel no pains. I don't make enough, feel no pains. Mortarian, deadly demise. He doesn't even deadly demise. He blows up on a 4. He came charging up the battle grid, spells all over the place, but ultimately the Castellan, after firing into him as he came charging up, manages to take him down, and the Castellan is standing there proud with 11 wounds remaining. As Mortarian has fallen, the Blightlord Terminators are enraged, so I'm spending a CP on Vermid Whispers, so they hit on 2s. There are 4 swords here which hit on 2s. Rerolling 1s, there's a Demon Prince nearby. But the swords wound on 5s, rerolling 1s. They're plague weapons. 2 6-up saves, that is 2 wounds. Then the bubotic axes. The champion has got a bubotic axe as well. The thing about bubotic axes is that they're strength 6, and the Warglaive is currently toughness 6 because of contagions. So these wound on 4s and reroll 1s. But they're only -2, so 2 5-up saves. You fail both of those as well, but they only do 1 damage. So the Warglaive is down to 6 wounds remaining. And then a lash out with the Flail of Corruption on 2s, rerolling 1s. This needs 5s to wound. Rerolling those 4 1s.
Wow. For
3 wounds. Now, if you fail all 3 saves of 5+, that's a dead Warglaive. Okay. With each doing 2 damage. So you just need 1 5 here to keep it alive. And there's a 5. It's on 2 wounds. It lives. Now, before the drone gets to probe him, he can fight back. Defenders fight back. Would be hitting on 5s normally, but 4s because of your household thing and you're striking out at the Terminators. He's angry. And he hits twice. And this is strength 10. And he wounds once. I need a 4-up invulnerable save. I make my 4-up invulnerable save. And now the drone. You're on 2 wounds left. The drone could do it. He's going to probe you. You ready? 1 hit. 3 hits. Sorry, what I'm talking about. 1 miss. Strength 6 versus toughness 6. It's a plague weapon.
Yep.
It wounds you all the times. It's -2, 1 damage. So again, you need to make 2 5-up saves to keep the Warglaive alive.
I'm not that lucky.
And you only make 1. That is 2 wounds. Unless you CP reroll it, do you really want him alive on 1 wound remaining? You've only got 2 CP sat over there.
Yeah,
You're spending them like toffee. So you can
leave
leave it? So does he go kaboom boom? No. He just crumples under the smelly weight of the attacks. And at the end of Death Guard, turn 2, they are dominating this quarter of the battle grid and have wiped out 2 of those Warglaives. And when you bring an elite army, like Knights or Custodes, losing just a few units here or there can really hurt, right? I mean, you had 9 models, now you're down to 7 models.
Yeah.
Do you play Custodes as well?
No, I never played Custodes.
Yeah, that can sting as well. Like losing half your Custodes really stings. Losing half your Knights really stings. However, on the plus side, most of the big Knights are untouched, and the big Dominus in the middle, well, his story, he's going to get a name after this. He's managed to wipe out Mortarian. I am on 25 points for getting 10 more points on the primaries there. And the Knights are only on 5 points at the end of turn 2 for holding on to their home objective. But you have got Assassinate, which you get at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So you already racked up some points. So let's go on to Knights, turn 2. So it's 25 points to the Death Guard, 5 points to the Knights, and they're going to get 5 points for that one at the end of this turn. And they still want to kill as much as they can with guns, as much as they can in close combat for overwhelming firepower and blood and guts. All right, here we are on the right flank of the Knights. So Bondsman abilities thrown out from the Paladin onto 2 of these. With your Warlord trait that you paid for, they're both re-rolling hit rolls of 1 and re-rolling wound rolls of 1 for the rest of the game. And with their damage 3 weaponry, they really want to throw some shots down into these Plague Marines there to stop them coming forward and stealing this objective, which you're currently on, while the Paladin makes his way round the flank to take on shots of the Plague Burst Crawlers. The nasty Castellan is standing strong in the middle of the battle grid. He's got a good field of fire. And the HQ, the Errant, is going right up the gut, straight towards the Fetid Blow Drone, the Terminators, and my Demon Prince Fluffy. We'll see how that works out. Around here, you did get out for your nightly things, the Chaplain things, on a dice roll of a 3. So 6 is exploding on the Warglaive this turn, and he's got the 6 up shrug. Of course, there's no psychic phase for the Knights, so let's go on to the shooting phase. The Knights need to kill as much as they can with guns to get overwhelming firepower. Need to kill 3 whole units. We're starting on this flank with the Paladin. What are we starting off with first?
The rocket pod, please.
Okay, 3 shots, 3s to hit. 2 of them hit. Strength 8, toughness 8. 2 of them wound. 5 up and vulnerable saves. I make 1, fail 1, d6 damage. For 6 damage, becomes 5 damage. It's on 7 wounds left, almost half dead. Then 2 d3 shots with a rapid fire battle cannon.
D6.
2 d6 shots. For 12 shots, you roll boxcars. Hitting on 3s, and that's 9 hits. Wounding on 4s. Drop dice don't count. 3 come through. 1 save. Then we did the anti-infantry stubbers. They bounced off the tank. And now we're coming back here to the Helverins that want to rain as much hate as they can into these Plague Marines that are perilously close to the Knights' lines. 4d3 shots with the autocannon. And these 7 shots will hit on 4s firing through the trees. But re-rolling those 2 1s. For 5 hits, wounding on 3s. And re-rolling those 2 1s. You're rolling 1s a lot.
Very good at it.
3 damage becomes 2 damage with Disgustingly Resilient. So every failed save of a 5 up will kill a Plague Marine. And that is 3 dead Plague Marines. And then 3 wounds came through with the Stubber, which I need 4 up saves with. And you injure another one. Are you going to rinse and repeat with the second Helverin and really try and punish them? Okay, number of shots with the autocannons. Actually, those 8 shots, what you want to do is fire the Stubber first, because one's on 1 wound.
Good shot.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah. So, 4s to hit. Reroll the 2 1s, of course.
Oh.
And then 1.
Come on.
It does wound. 4 up save. It didn't work. Okay. Well, we tried. Okay.
Thank
These
you,
ones
thank you.
are going to hit on 4s.
Yeah.
And there's 3 2s. 4 2s. Oh dear. 3s to wound. Reroll the 1. Ooh, 4 wounds come through, however. 4 5 up saves. I fail them all. The 2 Helverins between them completely wipe out that squad of Plague Marines. With the annihilation of that Plague Marine squad, that is the first target removed for overwhelming firepower. Now the Dominus wants to remove the next couple of targets. The big gun, the Volcano Lance, And the last Siege Breaker missile is going to streak across the battle grid and try and kill the tank on 3 wounds remaining. The remaining shots are going into the Hellbrute. So let's see if you can crack it with a Shield Breaker. But you are hitting on 4s right now.
Yep.
Because he's nerfed.
Okay.
And the Shield Breaker hits. Strength 10. Wounds on 3s. And I don't get a save. How much damage?
D6.
For 2 damage, which becomes 1 damage. It's on 2 wounds remaining.
Okay.
So the Volcano Lance is going to have to do a D3 shots for 1 shot. Hitting on a 4. And it misses.
I'm going to CP that. I want to kill it.
And it hits. A wound on a 2. It wounds. 5+ invulnerable save. Each of that's D6 plus 8 damage, right? That gun.
Yeah.
5. Do I CP reroll that? No, because my tank is hitting on 5s back again. So you do nuke the tank and it doesn't blow up. And that is 2 targets wiped out for overwhelming firepower. And now the remaining shots are going to rain into the Hellbrute. 4d3 shots with the Siege Breaker cannons. 8 shots hitting on 4s. Strength 7 wounding on 4s. And I need to make 5 4-up saves. I make none of them. Each of them 2 damage each. Comes 1 damage each. The Hellbrute's on 3 wounds remaining. And then you've got 2d6 shots with the Plasma Decimator. For Snake Eyes. And one of them hits. And a wound on a 3. And it wounds. And the Hellbrute is injured, leaking oil and pus, but not out of the fight yet. Now we move down the line to the Knight Errant. And the Errant is firing everything at point blank range into the Blightlord Terminators. Here's the Melter. And it misses. And the Thermal Cannon, 2d3 shots for 5 shots. Which hit 4 times and will wound on 3s. And only wound twice. Invulnerable saves coming up. Make 1 fail 1. How much damage?
D6 plus 4.
Ah, that's definitely a dead Terminator. One is ploughed into death. Ploughed into death, ploughed into a furrow. Moving further along the line to the Warglaive down here, standing right in front of the Hellbrute. We're going to do the Thermal Spear and the Melter together because it all hits and wounds the Hellbrute at the same. And you hit on 3s and you hit twice and you wound on 3s and I won't get a save. One of them gets through and this is D6 plus 2 damage at this range. And that is 6 damage. The Hellbrute's on 6 wounds remaining and that becomes 5 damage. It's a 1 wound left. It's been shot through the heart and you're to blame. You give Melters a bad name. So, what you're doing with the Knight Preceptor? You're in a target range environment here. Like 2 Marines, Hellbrute, 7 Marines, drone. Decision is yours.
So, the multi-laser is going to go into them. So, that's 4 shots.
Okay.
And I want to kill him.
You want to kill the Hellbrute. He is your biggest threat in close combat, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 shots, multi-laser into the 2 remaining Plague Marines. And you hit 3 times and you're going to wound on 3s. And you wound once. And I make the save. Okay, so no wounds into the Plague Marines.
No.
And then the, what is it called again? His weird gun.
The Las Impulsor.
Las Impulsor. D6 shots with the high intensity mode for 5 shots. And on 3s. And you get 2 hits through. Strength 12. 2 wounds come through. And at AP -4, I don't get a save. The Hellbrute is out of the equation. And that one does not deadly demise. And interestingly, that is 3 targets wiped out for overwhelming firepower. And that is the end of the shooting phase with 3 targets gone amongst the Death Guard. Now the Imperial Knights just need to kill 2 targets in the fight phase as well. And they'll get blood and guts and they'll get a full house on their secondaries. So, in the charge phase, Preceptor charging the 2 remaining Plague Marines holding this objective. The Warglaive charging the Fetid Bloat Drone. You can't fail the charges here. And if you kill either of both of these, that's blood and guts. However, in the center, decisions again. Does your Warlord go into Terminators? Or does it try and kill that drone? I think it's a guaranteed kill on the drone, or it should be with its massive Fist of Doom.
Yeah.
But the Terminators, again, they could charge you back if you don't charge them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right decision is. A few moments later, the errant has decided to go into the Terminators. And we're going to start the fight phase here, because the Terminators, if I pay to interrupt, could hurt him back. The Warlord raises his Thunder Strike Gauntlet and strikes out 5 times on 2s. And hits every single time. And this will wound on 2s. And he wounds 4 times. Command point?
Yeah.
He wounds 5 times. And the reason why you're doing the strike attack is because of each failed save will kill a Terminator.
Yeah.
And I've got 5 invulnerable saves to make. For the Emperor. See, I shouldn't have said for the Emperor. I've lost 4 Terminators. Let's command point reroll one of them. I've saved... Okay, 3. Just 3 die. Screw you, Emperor. There's only 3 Terminators in the middle of the battle grid holding that objective down. Now we come across here to the Knight Preceptor. You're going to do the other attack now because it's 3 damage and it will insta-kill a Plague Marine if you manage to get it through. Hitting on 2s because your household tradition. They all hit. And killing on 2s. Actually, I get 5-up saves because of your... No, they're dead. You wipe out the Plague Marines. And that's 2 things killed for blood and guts. And now we're on to the Warglaive, trying to get the clean sweep here. 6s explode for his hits, however, and he's doing the overhand swing and he hits on 2s. And there's no 6s. 3 of them hit. 3s to wound. All of them wound. I need to make my invulnerable save. How many wounds that drone on? He's on 5 left. 5-up saves. I failed 2 of them. And unfortunately, the 6 damage becomes 4 damage. And the drone is still alive on 1 wound left. And he probes out. And he hits you twice. And reroll that one. Wounding on 4s because contagions. Wounds that little knight back 3 times. And you make 2 of the saves. And I only do 1 wound back to the knight. Oh, he's got his 6-up feel no pain as well.
Oh, yeah. What's the damage?
1.
Oh.
No, he feels a little bit of pain. I mean, it's an uncomfortable probing from a fetid bloat drone. And then finally we come back to the Terminators. Smacking your Warlord. Here's the axes. And I can reroll 1s. And I need 5s to wound. And I wound once. And he's got 4-up invulnerable save in close combat.
He has, yep.
So 4-up invuln. Your Warlord's okay. But let's hit you with a Flare of Corruption. Let's wrap it around the legs and pull out some pipes and some steam work. That is very, very important. So 5 hits. 5s to wound. Steam work? I don't know what I'm saying. 1 more 4+ invulnerable save, sir. And you managed to fail it. Thank you.
It's okay.
So your Warlord is on 22 wounds remaining. And that's the end of Imperial Knights turn 2. Over on the right flank, the Warlord, the Preceptor, and the last remaining Warglaive are doing all they can to drive back the traitors from the Imperial installation on this side. Over on the left flank, the Paladin and the Armigers have cleared out many other targets over here. It's a smelly free zone. It's 25 points to the Death Guard, 15 points to the Imperial Knights. As we go on to Death Guard turn 3. At the start of the turn, the Death Guard pick up 10 points for the primaries, making it 35 points to 15, so they're 20 points in the lead. And they need to kill 6 more wounds worth of stuff for no prisoners, take out the enemy Warlord, and hold on to their stronghold until the end of the Imperial Knights' turn. So, Operation Assassinate is in effect. To help me do this, the Terminators have fallen back from close combat, and Fluffy, my Demon Prince, steps forward with Miasma of Pestilence, so he will be -1 to hit, but I had to CP reroll that. He's going to go flying in there, along with a unit of Plague Marines, after the Drone, the Hellbrute, and the Tonk soften them up with shooting. Round this side, I need to defend my stronghold as well. So what I've done is put 23 models on that objective. So hopefully that should be able to defend it. And then these Plague Marines, I could go charging into that Warglaive, but I kind of don't want to, because right now I I'm contesting that objective, so you're not scoring it. And if I go in on that Warglaive in close combat and don't kill it and lose one Plague Marine back again, then you'll secure that objective over here. So I'd rather stop you scoring 15 points on the primaries by stopping you having that, and let these guys... I mean, I'm blocking off the Knight Preceptor. The Knight Preceptor isn't coming through next turn. The Warglaive can go charging off, but he'll be a Warglaive on his own. So I think the blocking maneuver here next to the installation is the right move. And then the Terminator's dropped in. And the Terminator's dropped in all the way in this corner here. Why, I hear you asking? Well, a couple of reasons why. There's an objective there. And the main reason is these things, these Helverins have got a huge range, damage 3, and they can basically influence the rest of the battle by plinking off and plinking off and plinking off entire units of Plague Marines. So the intention is to go charging in there with the Blightlord Terminators and hopefully tie them up, maybe contest that objective and stop these guys from shooting for the rest of the game. Or at least you'll have to fall back from there, which means they're not shooting for a turn, and then the Paladin will have to come back and deal with them, or the nasty Dominus will have to come back and deal with them. But it gives you something to think about. No one really wants Blightlord Terminators in their backfield.
No,
no, but so Blightlord Terminators in your backfield. We're going to go into the shooting phase. We might as well start here because we're looking at him. Let's put all the shots from them into the weakened Helverin. And I fired everything in with my Terminators. The Helverin made all the saves, so no wounds caused there. We're going to come across here where the Hellbrute is going to fire in to your Warlord. I'm spending a CP on Fire Fever, so he gets +1 to hit with his melters, and they both hit. And +1 to wound with his melters, so they're wounding on 3s. And they both wound. Here's a flat 4-up invulnerable save. Is a Warlord trait, right, or something?
Only in combat.
Only in combat.
Yeah.
5-up save. And he failed them both. You don't have enough CP to rotate Iron Shields. Only 1 CP. So 2d6 damage on your Warlord. For 10 damage. The Errant is down to 11 wounds remaining. Then the Plague Spurties from the drone spurt away. And wound on 5s. Rerolling the 1. The Knight's on 10 wounds remaining. Let's fire the tank out here. Here's the mortar, which hits on 3s, hitting 3 times. And only wounding once. One more 5+ save, which you make. How about the entropy cannons? One of them hits. It doesn't wound. The stubber sluggers bounce, so we're on to the Plague Marines. Point blank range, firing for effect. Blight Launcher. Reroll hit rolls of 1. There's the Demon Prince nearby. 2 hits. No wounds. There's a plasma there and a plasma on the champion. And we'll overcook. Here's the champion. Here's the normal guy. Everything hits. Strength 8. 3 wounds. 3 more 5+ invulnerable saves. And that is another 4 damage off the Knight. It's down to 6 remaining. Let's do the bolt guns. The bolt guns bounce. The Knight Errant is perfectly softened up for the charge from my Demon Prince. Fluffy's going to be a hero. We're going to have some Warlord or non-Warlord action. Mind you, he thinks he's the Warlord. He normally is when Mortarian isn't around. Last up to fire, we have 2 units of Plague Marines, and I'm going to put everything into this Helverin. This is the squad with 0 plasma. Both of the Blight Launchers hit and reroll 1s. Don't wound. And the bolt gun failed to get through the armor. So we're on to this squad, firing in the Blight Launcher. And one of them hits, and it wounds. And it failed the save. 2 damage on the Helverin. It becomes 1 damage?
No, he hasn't got the bondsman ability, so
okay.
He has got the 6-up feel no pain.
Shrug, okay.
Nope.
Just one more. So he's down to 9 wounds remaining. Now, the plasmas in here, I'd really like to overcook. But again, can't lose 1 model. So the champion and the normal guy will not overcook. And I would have lost 1. But they will wound on 3s. 2 5-up saves, no. And then 2 6-up shrugs. Helverin's down to 7 wounds remaining. Then the bolt guns come in. And these all need 5s to wound. And that's 1 more 3-up save, sir. And you make it. And that is the end of my shooting phase. Essentially, all the Plague Marines, all the anti-infantry weapon has weakened this Helverin, but not put it down a bracket. But I have really weakened your Knight Errant and got it down to 6 wounds remaining. And now Fluffy, my Demon Prince, goes charging in. That's a 4-inch charge. With the obstacle, you only need to be within 2 inches. Mm-hmm. So he's fine. And then the Plague Marines come charging in. And they charge 9. They get in there as well. And currently, you only have 1 CP, so you can't interrupt. So we make those charges. Then we come around here. Blight Lord Terminators are going to attempt to charge both of the Helverins. And you said you want to Overwatch. Okay, no damage caused with the Overwatch. So a 9-inch charge to engage both of these. And I'm going to CP reroll that. That was a failed charge. And that's a 5. That is a failed charge. They dropped in the backfield, fired everything they can, and didn't even wound either of the Helverins. That's going to be a problem. But not as much as a problem as a Demon Prince attacking your Warlord. So he's got a 4-up invulnerable save in close combat, right?
Yeah, and transhuman.
And transhuman in close combat. This is fine. Fluffy has 6 attacks, and he hits on 2s. And with a Warp Insect Harp, I can reroll that. Now, with your Knight Household ability, I need Force to Wound, and I can reroll that. 5, 4+ invulnerable saves.
For the Emperor.
The Emperor wasn't listening.
No.
Because that is 9 damage. Your Warlord's on 6 left. We have a dead Warlord. Mm-hmm. We have another engine kill. Please don't blow up. You blow up. Okay, so your Warlord presses the big shiny button, goes thermonuclear right in the center of the battle grid. The range of this explosion is Snake Eyes. So it'll only hit Fluffy and the Plague Marines, but it'll do D6 to my Demon Prince. And that's 2. And D6 to the Plague Marines? And that's 4, killing 2 of them. And that is the end of Death Guard turn 3. I have assassinated a target and scored no prisoners, and I'm defending my stronghold down here from the attack from the Preceptor and the Armiger Warglaive, trying to break through into the installation. What I didn't do this turn is put any shots into the Castellan or manage to lock up the Helverin. So at the end of turn 3 for the Death Guard, it's 45 points to 15. However, the Imperial Knights will pick up 10 points on the primary, so 45 points to 25 as we go on to Knights turn 3. Here are the orders for the Imperial Knights. No retreat, no surrender. That one's very doable, so long as they don't move off any objectives that they currently control. Kill 1 thing in close combat for blood and guts, and defend their stronghold until the end of the Death Guard turn, while the Death Guard are miles away from that stronghold. So that one's very doable. So the Imperial Knights are positioning themselves for a comeback. Both of these Knights can't move off of these objectives for no retreat, no surrender. But my Blight Lord Terminators look somewhat exposed right now. On this flank, the Helverin and the Paladin are pushing around. It would be a 10-inch charge into that Hellbrute down there from the Paladin, but a 9-inch charge because of the household traits. And then round this side, this Warglaive fancies his chances against a Demon Prince. I'd like to see that. If you do kill 1 thing in close combat, we'll get blood and guts as well. And talking about killing 1 thing in close combat, the Knight Preceptor is staring down at these Plague Marines, which are blocking him from getting through to the Death Guard objective. With that in mind, we're going to start off the shooting phase round here. I don't think I pointed out, actually, when narrated, there was a drone on 1 wound left with the Warlord, with the Warglaive. He's up here, look. He hopped all the way up there. Peekaboo! Anyway, Las Impulsor, point blank range, D6 shots. For 5 shots, which will hit on 3s. And you get 4 hits through. And killing on 2s. And you wipe out 3 of them. Then the multi-laser on 3s. And you hit 3 times and you wound on 3s. And you wound once. And I make the save. That leaves 4 Plague Marines left, nicely softened up for the charge. However, let's continue with the shooting phase. You've got Armiger Warglaive shooting a Demon Prince in the back. Yeah. Have you seen The Usual Suspects? No? Because there's the line like, how do you shoot the devil in the back? What if you miss? What if you miss? Don't miss. 3s to hit. You missed once. That's okay.
Okay.
3s to wound. You got to watch The Usual Suspects, by the way.
I will do.
It's a groovy movie. And I failed both of my invulnerable saves, so I'm going to CP reroll one of them. He is my second in command. He is Demon Prince Fluffy. And that doesn't even help me. So this is 2d6 plus 4 damage at this range.
Yeah.
That's a dead Demon Prince. Okay, so you shot the devil in the back, you didn't miss, and you smeared him all the way across the battle grid. He'll pop back into the warp, he'll go to the apothecary, get tea and biscuits, bandage himself, and he'll be back. Okay, so where are we going next? We have the Castellan, we have the Paladin, and 2 Helverins that have yet to fire. So we're going to do the Helverin, trying to shoot the Blightlord Terminators that dropped in. Here's the number of shots with the auto cannon. 9 shots hitting on 3s, and a re-rolling 1s. And everything hits. Strength 7 wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and almost everything wounds. 8 4+ invulnerable saves, and that kills a Blightlord Terminator. That kills a Blightlord Terminator due to disgusting resilient. Then we'll do a stubber. 5 Terminators remaining. You're coming on to Helverin number 2, and you're going to fire at the Terminators again.
Yeah, they scare me.
You sure? Not into any of this stuff down here? You're happy with Terminators? Don't be scared of the Terminators. They just want hugs.
I bet they do.
Shooting at the Terminators. Number of shots. 10 shots this time. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling that 1. That's 9 hits. And then wounding on 3s. And rerolling that 1. For 6 wounds. Invulnerable saves. Another 1 bites the dust. And 1's down to 1 wound remaining. Right. 1's on 1 wound remaining. 2 wounds came through with a stubber. 2 3-up saves. It does kill it. That leaves 3 Blightlord Terminators in the Imperial Knights backfield, really failing that charge. That stung. They're getting whittled away. Now we're on to the Castellan, splitting its fire between the Hellbrute and the Fetid Blow Drone. So, 2d6 shots from the massive plasma gun is going into the Hellbrute. And that is 9 shots, which hit on 4s and wound on 3s.
Oh.
And that is 2 wounds, which is just enough to kill the Hellbrute, which doesn't blow up. The Volcano Lance and the Siegebreaker Cannons is going into the Fetid Blow Drone. D3 shots with the Volcano Lance for 3 shots. 4s to hit. It hits twice. 2s to wound. Strength stupid. Both of them wound. D6 plus 8 damage. So basically, if I fail a 5-up invulnerable save, the drone is dead no matter what. The drone is dead no matter what, and it does blow up, but it doesn't hurt Nurgle units, and the Castellan takes out 2 big targets on his own, despite only being on 11 wounds remaining. This means the Paladin won't be able to make a charge into the Hellbrute, because the Hellbrute has been wiped out. So the Paladin is targeting the Terminators on the central objective with its rapid-fire battle cannon. 2d6, number of shots is 9 shots. 3s to hit. And its strength 8 is 3s to wound. 4 saves. And it's 3 damage, which becomes 2 damage. One of the Terminators is on 1 wound. So let's see if the stubber kills him. They all hit. 5s to wound. There is a wound. 3-up save. The stubber kills 1. And then 3 shots with the Storm Spear Rocket Pod. And that hits twice.
3s.
And wounds twice. And I make both of those saves. And at the end of the shooting phase, Terminators are dying all over the place. A Demon Prince is sent screaming back to the warp. The Fetid Blow Drone and the Hellbrute are gone as well. An absolutely devastating turn. The Imperial Knights are pulling it back here. Now we're on to the charge phase. The Preceptor can't fail his charge against these Plague Marines down here. And if they get killed, that will finally be blood and guts. But are you declaring any more charges? Like this Helverin into those Plague Marines?
Yes, please.
You are. Okay, you can't fail that charge either because you only need to get within 2. But if you get a long bomb charge off, you could hop up and over and take the central objective. And that isn't a long bomb charge. The Knights are fighting heroically to defend this stronghold. We're starting off the fight phase with the Armiger, doing the overhand swing against the Plague Marines. And it hits on 2s. And it hits 3 times, and it will kill on 2s. and kill 3 of the Plague Marines. There's only 2 Plague Marines left in that squad. Now, before we go on to the fight with the Preceptor, I've got so few units left, I think I need to interrupt. So let's pay 2 CP and smack that knight. Here are the Plague Knives, which will wound on 5s and reroll 1s. And they managed to put a chink in the armor, and then the flail. Oh no, he isn't a flail in that squad. There's a champion with a fist. And he hits once, and he wounds once, and that's a 6-up save. And I do put 3 wounds on him. 3 wounds in total, getting him down to 18 wounds remaining. And now he punches out with his fist with 8 attacks, which hit on 2s. And that is 5 hits. This will kill on 2s though. It is a Thunderstrike Gauntlet. And that's the squad. And that is Blood and Guts. And you've also completely taken me off of that objective as well. So, before we close out the turn, these brave Plague Marines will strike back out at this Warglaive. This is the Sergeant with his Power Fist. And he hits all the times. And he wounds twice. 6-up saves. And that is 4 damage. The Helverin is on 3 wounds remaining, so let's smack him with the Flail of Corruption. Is this Keith? It is Keith. For Fluffy, for Vengeance. 3s. I hit 3 times. And 5s. 2 wounds at -2. You need to make both of your 5-up invulnerable saves, or the Warglaive is gone. 5-up armor saves. Oh, sorry, you only need to make one of them, because it's 2 damage. So you make 1, fail 1, that is 2 damage. The Warglaive is on 1 wound remaining. That combat is a draw. Then we have some morale to take with this squad. And we're okay. The Terminators are good. Back there, I lost 4 in your corner. And the Terminators are good. So I do pass all my morale. And at the end of that turn, you get 5 points for Blood and Guts, making it 30 points to 45. However, if you defend your stronghold, and also no retreat, no surrender, which you can't do, which you can't fail, it'll be 45 points to 40. Just 5 points in it for the Imperial Knights at the end of my turn anyway. I'm on 1-2 objectives, so I'm going to get some more points, but I'm running out of assets. This unit is locked up in close combat. I've got a couple of things here and Terminators in the backfield. And
don't forget people.
Oh, I've got him up here. I've got a drone on 1 wound. I've got a drone on 1 wound. But the Preceptor isn't bracketed yet. The Paladin isn't bracketed yet. Both of the Helverins aren't bracketed yet. The engines, the Imperial Knights, are still very much combat effective. So let's rack up these points and find out what the orders are in Death Guard turn 4. So I did defend my stronghold, making it 60 to 30. But you're going to get your 10 points of 60 to 40 when you hit your primaries. No, when you do those 2 secondaries. So it's 20 points behind.
Yes.
Because you've got defend, stronghold, no retreat, no surrender. You're going to get them.
Yeah.
So basically it's 60-40. But here's my orders. Investigate site, do an action in the middle of the battle grid, so long as there's no enemies within 6. Well, I've got those Terminators there. And then deploy teleport Homer, do an action in your deployment zone. I've got those Terminators there. That means Terminator's doing actions instead of killing stuff, but that's worth 10 points. So I'll buy that for $1. And then Blood and Guts. Well, it doesn't even matter if I get that, because once I've got these 2, I would have maxed out my secondaries at 45 points. So let's go on to the movement phase. So with the untimely death of Fluffy and Mortarian, both of the units of elite Terminators are completing actions. I like to think that they're laser targeting sites ready for an orbital bombardment from orbit, because orbital bombardments, they come from orbit. They don't come from... No, an orbital bombardment from space. Space guns from space. That's what's happening there. In the meantime... Armiger on 1 wound left, so the drone has hopped down from there, shoots him in the back. You shot my Demon Prince in the back. I'm going to shoot you in the back. And then all the remaining shots need to do something about this Preceptor before I unleash the Poxwalkers on a charge. They killed Angron once. They can kill a Preceptor, surely. Okay, so this is all that can shoot because they fell back action thing. So spit you in the back with the drone for 5 hits, and this will wound on 4s, re-rolling 1s. So 2 wounds at -1. 2 4-up saves on the Warglaive. Dead Warglaive. Kaboom boom? No kaboom boom. We have our 4th engine kill, and then the Plague Marines will unload everything into the Preceptor. They managed to take 2 more wounds off before they're forced to reload. The Preceptor's on 16 wounds remaining. Now the last thing left to fire is the Plague Burst Crawler. Spending a CP on Disgusting Force one more time. So the mortar has 6 shots and will do 3 damage a time. 3s to hit. Hit 3 times. 4s to wound. I wound all the times. And that is 9 damage.
7.
Entropy cannons. Both miss. Command point. Both miss. Then the Slugger didn't do anything, but the Preceptor is down to 7 wounds remaining. Perfectly softened up for the charge for the murderous Poxwalkers. Because that is the end of my shooting phase. Everyone else is doing actions or just chilling. Or basically ducking and covering from all the massive firepower coming in from the Imperial Knights. But the charge of the Poxwalkers must succeed. And that's a 9. Okay, you ready for this, Rapid?
Super ready.
Here we are after piling. 16 Poxwalkers, 32 attacks.
Yeah.
I'm spending a CP on the Mutant Strain.
Okay.
6s to hit, do mortal wounds to you.
Yeah.
1s to hit, do mortal wounds to me.
Okay.
You got 7 wounds. Did you see the one with the Angron and the Poxwalkers? And basically, if you...
I need to watch it.
No, you need... But basically, if you have a choice between taking a Demon Primarch or Poxwalkers, take the Poxwalkers.
Right.
And I'll show you why. You ready for all these 6s? This is going to be glorious. 1, 2, 3... That one's cocked. Okay, only 3. And I got a lot of 1s. Oh dear. Okay, that's the wrong way round.
Yes, very much.
3 mortal wounds to yourself and 11 mortal wounds to me. They shrugged these on 6s. Let's do that first. Drop dice don't count. Okay, so 9 of them fall over. So there was 16. Now there's 7 left. These are wound on 6s. Okay, so you got 1 armor save. And you make it. And you take 3 mortal wounds. You're down to 4 left.
Yeah.
And you're facing 7 Poxwalkers. Damn it. Right, 5s to hit, back to 4s with your +1.
Who's the dead?
2s to squish. There is feel no pains, but each of these does 3 damage each, So there's 3 Poxwalkers left. That didn't work.
No.
At least I steal that objective off you because they've got OPSEC and yeah. Were you scared?
I was really scared. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work though.
No, it was. You had the machine in the wrong way. It went the wrong way around.
The widget went backwards rather than forwards.
It did, yeah.
Anyway, at the end of all of that, I am on 1, 2, 3 objectives, and I do those those 2 actions, which gets me up to 45 points on the secondaries. However, you have defended your stronghold and got no retreat, no surrender, so you get 10 points as well, and you're on 10 points for those 2 objectives there. It's close. It's very close. And there are more engines left on the table than there are Death Guard units. As we go on to Imperial Knights, turn 4. Right, adding up all the primaries, everything together, 70 points for the Death Guard, 50 points for the Imperial Knights. They're 20 points behind, but they can get all 3 of these secondaries here, bringing them right back into contention. Storm hostile objective. If you kill the Poxwalkers, that's a point. And secure No Man's Land, any 2 objectives in No Man's Land. The Helverin's on 1, kill the Poxwalkers, that's another 5 points. And then grind them down, kill more units in the Imperial Knights turn than the Death Guard kill in the Death Guard turn. And I'm not going to be able to kill very much. That could be a full sweep here. Down this side of the battle grid, killing the Poxwalkers will secure the Imperial Knights 10 points. And you don't want to fall back from combat with a Preceptor because then you'll lose honour. But it is a knight, it can shoot into combat. They'll probably be dead from the shooting attack. Meanwhile, the Castellan pivots round to get some shots into the Terminators in the centre of the battle grid, and the Paladin is lining up a long bomb charge as well. Around this flank, 1 Helverin is looking at my last Plague Burst Crawler, and the 2nd Helverin wants to polish off the Blightlord Terminators in the backfield that are lasering the position. Of course, the Imperial Knights also have grind them down in their hand as well and want to kill as much as possible. So we'll start off with the Helverin trying to fire at these Blightlord Terminators. 4d3 autocannon shots for 10 shots, hitting on 3s and re-rolling any 1s. There's a couple of 1s. In the end, 8 hits, wounding on 3s and re-rolling those 2 1s as well. I need to make 6/4 up and vulnerable saves. That kills a Terminator, that kills another Terminator. Only my Sergeant is left standing. And it looks like this. After the Stubbers come flying in, then we're going to Helverin number 2, trying to bracket the tank in the backfield. Number of shots. For 7 shots, hitting on 3s. And no 1s to re-roll. But this will wound on 5s. With 1/1 to re-roll. And that's pretty good anyway. That is 4 come through. 4, 5+ and vulnerable saves. And 3, 3, that's 2, 2, 2. That is 6 damage off the tank. It's half dead. Now we go into the canyon in the middle. There'll be a boom of rapid fire battle cannons and storm spear missile pods coming in to these 2 remaining Plague Marines here. Battle cannon has 10 shots. And the Paladin hasn't taken a scratch. So he hits on 3s. And his aim is true and he'll wound on 3s. Forcing 5+ saves, and the Plague Marines are wiped out. The centre of the battle grid is almost clear of targets. There are 2 Terminators stood there, but the Castellan moved around so he could bring a couple of guns to bear. He's firing the big guns in at the Terminators, and the Siege Breaker is coming back to try and kill this drone over here. What are we starting with first?
Let's go for the Siege Breaker.
Siege Breaker.
So 4d3 shots. Oh.
That's only 4 shots. Hitting on 4s. You hit one hit. Wounding on a 4, but it's got 1 wound remaining. It doesn't wound. Okay. It wouldn't have even wounded the Terminators.
I'm going to CP it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be silly.
Okay. You wound. I need a 4-up save. I'm going to CP it just to be silly. Yay!
Oh.
So the drone's alive on 1 wound. To be honest, I needed that. It is the fastest thing in my army. Right. Volcano cannon into 2 Terminators to turn them into paste. D3 shots. For 3 shots. Yep. So long as you hit, there will be paste. Drop lifetime count. 2 hits because you're bracketed. 2s to wound. Shouldn't really get a save to this, should you? I mean, it is strength minimum 9. And they're dead. Look. Snake eyes. Clearing away the centre of the board there. Now we're on to the Preceptor, firing at point blank range into Poxwalkers. 2d6 shots, disperse mode, 8 shots. It's heavy, you're firing into combat, so 6s. Nothing. Oh no, 1 hit, 1 hit. Wounds on a 3, it wounds. That's 1 dead Poxwalker. And then the laser misses. That's kind of critical because there's 2 Poxwalkers left there. And if you'd have killed them in close combat, shooting, you'd have been able to charge the drone. So now we fight Preceptor versus Poxwalkers. 8 attacks, 4s to hit. He's injured. He's still pretty good at hitting though. That is 3 hits. Snake Eyes coming up. No, you kill the Poxwalkers. At the end of that combat, the Preceptor piles forward and we're about to go into turn 5. Now, it was 70 points to 5.
Yeah.
But you've stormed a hostile objective by killing those Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
You have secured no man's land. You're on this one and this one. And you've killed 1, 2, 3 units. I need to kill 4 units for grind them down, which is your whole army, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay. Right, it's 75 points to 60. The Imperial Knights are 15 points behind, but the Imperial Knights will score their primaries at the end of the movement phase. And you got 40 points on the secondaries. So if you max out 15 on the primaries, it'll be a draw. And you're on 1 there, and you're on 1 there, and you're on 1 there. So I kind of need to kill the Preceptor on 4 wounds, but then this knight could run across and get on that objective. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Unless somehow I could advance onto it with something. Like my tank or my drone and somehow stay alive with something, and then make you only get 15 points on the primaries, and then it comes down to get, Well, the Terminator in the backfield's irrelevant. Even if I charge the Helver or anything like that, you have a greater OC than me. So that backfield assault, that completely failed. Over here. I guess I've got to shoot everything into Preceptor and charge it. How far does a Plague Burst Crawler move when it's on 6 wounds remaining? Turns out it's not middle bracket. It moves 9. So let's not... See, if I don't shoot with it, then I've just got these guys shooting with it. But I need to kill that and stop that for at least the draw.
Yeah.
Or I could just let you take that and hopefully none of your secondaries are scoreable. No, I want to advance. So he needs 9 plus d6. I need like a 5 or 6. That's a 3. That isn't going to do it. Let's CP reroll that with my last command point to try and get the tank onto the central objective. And that's a 1. That isn't going to happen. The best thing I can do is hide it. And then fire everything at this knight. So let's spurt on it with the drone twice. For 10 hits. Which wound on 5s and reroll 1s. No rerolls, but that is 4 wounds. And that'll be 4 4-up saves. Interestingly, he's only got 4 wounds left. So if you could fail them all, and you fail every single one. Thank you.
You asked.
That's a dead Preceptor. Please don't blow up. Because that drone will go. And no, you don't kill the drone. I do kill the Preceptor. The guys here, that's it. That's the end of my turn. That is the end of my turn. It is 75 points to 60. In your turn, you can easily move on to that objective to make it a draw.
Yeah.
You've got 40 points on the secondaries. If you can score 1 secondary, you win. Let's go and have a look at the cards. Hold the line. You need to kill the Terminators. Area denial. No enemy units within 12 of the center, which you've got.
Yeah.
There are no enemy units within 12 of the center of the battle grid. So the Imperial Knights win this day. 80 points to 75 with the painting standard 90 points to 75. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. The Castellan robot of doom. Can
I call him Morty?
Morty, the demon primer. I would definitely call him Morty.
I think Morty's good.
Or maybe like more. It needs to be like Latin and stuff, like
Right,
Mortanius or Mortanius or but Morty. But really, all his mates call him Morty.
Morty,
yeah.
He earned that name, definitely.
The pilot of that engine. I mean, he jumped forward, Mortarian, you put all the guns into him. Then he came forward a bit more, you put all the guns, and you took him down just before he made the charge. If I'd have taken him out, I think it would have been a different game.
Yeah.
Having said that, there were so many clutch moments here. Explosions happening in the center of the battlefield. There was shooting Fluffy in the back. Yeah. There was the charge of the Poxwalkers. That could have gone another way.
Yeah, you just need to flick the button the other way next time.
I know. I did 11 mortal wounds to myself. So if I'd have killed him with the Poxwalkers, for example, then in this turn, then I could have put some stuff over there. So I think it was one of those games. I mean, it's only 5 points in it. It was one of those games that's only a dice roll in it. It could have gone one way. It could have gone another way. How was it for you, honey?
Awesome. Best ever.
Imperial Knights, kind of tricky to play at the moment in 9th edition with all the overlapping buffs, but they're getting a lot simpler in the next edition. I'm very much looking forward to getting mine on the table. It's been a while. So, shout outs. This battle mat is from urbanmats.com, all the trainers, Games Workshop, or I made it. Rapid, you're on the Instagram.
On the Instagram at Rapid40k.
Rapid40k, and you're part of the
Waffboot Chronicles.
What, them guys?
Yeah. So it's waffboot.blogspot.com. Something like that.
Probably remember or not to put a link in the video description. If I don't, please tell me and then I'll put it in the video description.
Will do. Wicked.
Yes. So you're from a strange and exotic land called Wales.
Wales, yes. You've got to cross a bridge.
Yeah. full of dragons.
And as soon as you cross the bridge, it's always raining.
You don't have to pay to get out anymore, do you? No. They let you out for free now.
Yeah.
Was it pay to get in or pay to get out?
Pay to get in, yeah. Yeah, they allow us out on day release. So.
Right, but we had to pay to get in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's only fair. It is a strange and exotic land. For any American viewers out there, it's the place where Wrexham FC is. That's how they know Wales. Yeah. Before Wrexham FC and Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, they had no idea. Mind you, a lot of Americans think London is the capital of Paris or something. So...
Do they?
Yeah, I've seen like where to put things. Mind you, having said that, the geography of most English people is also shocking.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, I'm not just saying English, Welsh people as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, people in general, the geography of most people is shocking. I mean, I have no idea where Wyoming is. Do you know where Wyoming is? I know where the stuff on the east is, like New York, or the west, like LA. But people talk about like Portland. I have no idea. Is that Canada? I don't know. Is that America?
America land.
I know there's a lot of... Yeah, America land. Freedom, oil, cheeseburgers, and really crappy healthcare. So thanks for watching this battle report. Happy wargaming.